We are live. Trying to do, it's always better live, more dangerous live. We might get in trouble here. Somebody will clip it, end our careers because we might fall in a ditch, but we're going to risk it every Monday and Tuesday throughout the month. Where's Stugotz? We are live. We are live. Stugotz is not here, which allows me to talk about whether you would vote for Jon Stewart for president, because he's saying he might run for president. And he's like, well, what choices do we have? And if Trump could be the president and it's going to be somebody in his mid-80s, I'd vote for Jon Stewart. I'd just vote for him. Like, go ahead, John, do what you can there. It doesn't have to be a politician. Just please try and just, you're trying to help military guys. You're trying to respect that you don't just throw people into war. Would you vote for Jon Stewart? Put it on.
I'm gonna do a little recon on it, just a little bit.
I know, but I don't need any recon other than look, you dominated the news field. You became, when people distrusted the media, you became by poll the most trusted
newsman in America.
I'm just saying, I'd vote for him. You wouldn't?
I don't know. I need to know what my options are. I need to know what he stands for.
I don't need to know anything else. Just make it something different than what it's been.
So another white guy. Got it.
Okay.
Another guy named John. We haven't had enough of those.
I feel like we should probably stop with the notion of people who have never been around politics or the political arena. It's like, go do the biggest job. Like, he's got to go sit in the Situation Room. Like, that's not a small thing to do without any experience.
On the plus side.
That's a good show. So Wolf will handle that part of it.
On the plus side, it's like, I saw how a host of a reality TV show that I didn't like do in the seat. So I've already established a floor for me. So if it's a host of a show that I actually enjoyed, I got to imagine it's a little bit better.
We will talk about the Batman in a second. I do love that I had to read the title of the movie 8 or 9 times just to make sure that I didn't come on here and say of the most popular movie in America and come out here and call it The Batman, and then you guys would say you're doing that thing. It's just Batman.
Yeah, the marketing was based for old people. The title of the movie was so that when old people talked about it and they called it The Batman, they would be correct. I would presume that the previous however many Batman movies that there have been called The Batman by many old people. When this one is for the first time, they're right.
I love, that the Batman has taken such a dark Knight turn with Heath Ledger and all this stuff that now, is it Paul Dano or Paul Dano, the preacher from...
Paul Dano.
It's Paul Dano. He's the Riddler, right?
Yes.
He says he can't sleep because of how he portrayed that character.
I love it when actors, I'm not sure why this isn't a thing. Why people haven't started memeing interviews that actors give when they're promoting a superhero movie. I guarantee you they're just lying. They're constantly lying. I saw a quote that said Zoe Kravitz drank milk like a cat in preparation for the role as Catwoman. And I'm like, you're messing with me.
It's funny you should bring that up, Mike. There was a Ringer article about all the times Robert Pattinson has lied to the media and if he was lying or not over the last 20 years of his career. Some of the stories that he's told on these press junkets, because this is the thing, right, that you're saying, they do these press junkets, so they have 30 interviews in a row for 10 minutes with all these different press people, and they have to make each one kind of interesting so that'll make a headline, so it'll promote the thing. That's kind of how they work. But Robert Pattinson has been saying just the most absurd shit in these late night shows and press junkets. He said he was a hand model. He said he was a woman's hand model. He said he was coming out with a clothing line. None of those things are verifiably true. He said that he buys everything from Craigslist. He said that he wept when an elephant wrapped shooting on Water for Elephants. And he said he watched a clown die once at the circus. He said, quote, "The first time I went to see the circus, somebody died. One of the clowns died." This was an interview with Matt Lauer, and Matt Lauer asked him how the clown died, and Robert Pattinson said, "His little car exploded. The joke car exploded on him." No one has been able to prove
it's such
this
a better
is true.
way to do these dumbass interviews where you're touring the country and all you're trying to do. The improv that actors could do with that if they applied themselves, because Dano is
So maybe don't believe him when he says he watched actual bats fighting in preparation for the role.
He does have nice hands. I can verify that.
but a woman's hand model. He claimed to be a woman's
Both.
hand
He also
model.
Is it Paul
said-
Dano or Dano?
A little
also?
dainty.
Is it Dano or Dano?
I thought it was Dano.
Never have we needed
He used to
Stugotz
eat
more.
pencils.
He used to eat pencils.
He tried to launch a fast food pasta restaurant. These are all in this Ringer article.
Good idea.
The way that they're portraying this now is so funny, given when I saw the original movie Batman that everyone was excited about. Jack Nicholson does it so cartoonishly. And I believe he didn't take any of this seriously because I believe I read correctly that he had in his contract that he got time off for Laker games, that he didn't have to go. But he did it so cartoonishly. And now
I also think he had a financial carve out that gave him a cut of all future Batman movies. That he made over $100 million on that role.
But everyone else, why has everyone else gone so much darker in the portrayals? Because people seem to like that a hell of a lot more than the way Jack Nicholson did
Well,
it.
that's another thing that always pops with fans. Not just I watched a bat actually fight, and that's how I trained for this, is we're going to do a gritty, dark take on the character. People love a gritty, dark take. But before superhero movies were big, bankable things at the box office, the only real representations of the Joker as a character were the Cesar Romero portrayal in the Batman 60s series or in comic books where he's a clown. So Jack Nicholson was actually one of the darker portrayals of it up to that point. And it was only until Tim Burton's vision of a darker, grittier character that all of a sudden you have all these offshoots. Yeah, Frank Miller did his take on the character, but it really made dark takes on something that was generally viewed as campy a cool thing.
And it's a monster success by any definition, right? It was these are $200 million movies, right? And you have to start strong, and they started in an enormous way. Still, the superhero stuff, man, like they almost never miss with any of this stuff, huh? Like
it helps when it's good and you have a good filmmaker of repute that's handling the project. Matt Reeves, I think, did a really good job with the Planet of the Apes movie. I actually saw this at a special fan screening last week, and I've been biting my tongue on a review because I'm saving it for Ed Nanberg's Cinephile, which is an enormously successful movie podcast that you should check out here on the Lebatard and Friends Network. So while my review is embargoed until then, I did review the promotional Batman Calzone from Little Caesars, if you're interested.
you embargoed your opinion on the Batman, and you can only get it on Cinephile. That's what you just. That's
correct. But this show can get my opinions on the Batman Calzone from Little Caesars. See, it's a dark and gritty take on the Batman. However, they decided for Little Caesars as their food tie-in.
Kill the Batman Calzone.
So, this has been a meme. Everybody's been uploading their photos of Batman Calzones to the point that I think Little Caesars took notice because my Batman Calzone was spectacular. It was the artistic representation of it, the presentation, the assorted accoutrement was a beautiful thing. The Batman Calzone.
Wait a minute. That sounded like Andrew Luck is doing a promotion. That sounded to me like Andrew Luck was just bought as a spokesman for the Batman.
I love walking into a store and they have hot and ready. Just get a wonderful pizza and you just pull it out and there you go. $5. You're on your. What makes their bread crazy? What have you? I don't know, but I love that crazy bread.
Chris
Jack
Coate. You forgot there are a couple of keys to the Andrew Luck. Jack Doyle is one of them, and
wonderful pizza portal. And all of a sudden you have crazy bread, and it's a delight. Either way, the Batman Calzone, it's like a pepperoni pizza, but then aspects of a calzone, and you have this wonderful. What is this? Is this Alfredo mixed with cheese? I think so. It is quite delicious when you go into it with the expectations of, oh, I've seen all these other photos online and that must mean it's bad. I was eagerly anticipating the arrival of my Batman Calzone, and it thoroughly exceeded my expectations.
I enjoy, Mike, that you go for like meme meals. We had a Super Bowl party, and you got a bunch of McDonald's to recreate the Donald Trump White House welcoming of Clemson.
Yeah.
There was just a bunch of chicken nuggets off to the side. And it's like,
Filet?
you're spending tens of dollars on a meme.
You came over when I did Magic City Wings,
Yes, you
right?
did. Magic
We had
City
the
Wings
Lou
are
Will-
tremendous.
Yeah, we had the Lou Will
Really
lemon
good.
pepper.
I get it. I get it. They're tiny, but I get it.
Oh, I love a tiny wing.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I needed to be more. I had like 20 wings that day.
I hate too large wings.
Yes.
If I get
That's
10
the
wings
rule
and they're
of thumb.
all just gigantic,
Yeah.
get that out of here. I'd rather have a
Multiple
nice.
bites to get through
I
the
don't.
drum?
Obviously, I
I
don't
like
want
it.
them so small that like they're just like too crispy. But like, there's a nice small, perfect size of wing. I don't like a too big wing.
Why is it called a calzone and not a calzone?
Right? I don't know because they have Falcone, and why isn't it the Falcone calzone? They have the Falcone calzone.
Riddle me that riddler.
Because I've heard Falcone and Falcone for that character. Either way, obvious tie-in. It doesn't have to be the Batman calzone. Although if you're paying so much for a promotional tie-in in the Batman, you're going to want to put Batman in the title. But Falcone calzone is right there for you guys.
If you haven't seen Batman yet and you're still like, man, should I tune into this Cinephile episode? You should, because I haven't seen it either. So it's like nice balance we're bringing to the conversation this Thursday, Cinephile.
Is it spoiler-free, this conversation?
We give spoiler alerts.
Okay, because,
Yeah, you got to get in. We get in there.
Was it good though?
Check the head.
What the calzone was good. I already told you. Calzone was good.
Was the Bane good? Because I felt like three of them. I liked all three of them, but I felt like you didn't have confidence
The
on
first
two
one
of
was
them.
the Joker. Kill the Batman. It was not as good. I need to work on
That
it.
sounds like Bane.
Well, that one
Yeah.
I did the Joker as Bane when I reenacted the Joker.
Do you need to do
La-
something
like-
layered
it's like-
impersonation.
tone your voice?
Kill the Batman.
There you go.
That's the Joker. But
Yeah.
you have to do like the
To
weird
get in character,
thing.
I say Jack Doyle a lot.
Kill the Batman calzone.
You also have to.
To smack your lips.
Weird noises. Yeah.
You guys, you guys could do a commercial for the calzone and Andrew Luck talking to whichever it is character it is that
Look,
you would.
man, I am adrenally fatigued for producing an original musical. I don't think I can do Andrew Luck talking to
Fair
me.
enough. Chris
Talking
Cody,
about the Batman
fair enough.
calzone.
Chris Cody, Juju, and Anthony carried you this weekend on the content machine because you short circuited post musical, and I loved so much of what was happening Saturday night, which is just the ridiculous spectacle of those two guys headlining a fight. Before the fight, Covington and Masvidal, I loved so much. You guys helped me because you guys were our MMA experts doing this on YouTube. But before the fight, I love that Covington called Masvidal phony Montana. I think that's funny. I love that Masvidal countered with what seemed like a truth that Covington didn't object to, which is you have herpes, because they both know each other. I love that Masvidal didn't seem to get offended that Covington called him both a deadbeat dad. Like, these guys really know each other. They live together and they have all of the secrets. They used to be friends. That Covington called Masvidal a deadbeat dad, and Masvidal did not object. Covington also questioned the education of Masvidal, went right to the fringe of illiterate on Masvidal, and there didn't seem to be objection. But when Covington dared, and I couldn't hear it well enough, so I don't know if the word was phone or vote, but I do know that the word before it was Obama. And that's when Masvidal got up as if he did vote for Obama. And that was the great insult when they went back and forth on herpes, on lack of education, on phony Montana, which is just a great insult. Phony Montana is exceptional as an insult, but I didn't hear correctly. I couldn't hear whether it was, people were saying it was phone, but it sounded like Covington objected to Masvidal voting for Obama, tried to insult him because that's Covington shtick is I'm going to be MAGA guy. But wait a minute, you're going to go more right? You're going to go QAnon? God damn you, I'll get you. You voted for Obama. That was the great insult that made, at the press conference, Masvidal get up and try, legitimately, that was the true one. That's the one that hurt. And then these guys fight on Saturday night, and Covington's a better wrestler. And Masvidal wants it to stand up. And I love, for all the jokes I'm making, that Masvidal signed the big deal right before that fight. Now, as a late fighter with a great story, a journeyman story, nobody ever gets to be what he is. He got his money, and I'm guessing part of it he got his money because Dana White didn't want him fighting one of the Pauls, because that's where we were. He's a draw, period. He's a mouth. He's not very good as a fighter anymore. He's lost the last 3 straight fights, but he'll stand up with you and bang. if you want to, and he's got a name, and he sells tickets, because he's got a big mouth.
On that front, I'm almost thinking that UFC fighters might have like both a private investigator team and a comedy writer team, because they must have all kind, like an economy around the trash talk before a fight. Because that's like what you're providing is like a level of personal detail about somebody that like somebody had to get in there and figure out like where are the areas that I can hit Masvidal, like a politician doing oppo research, because that's like a subject matter that I'm stunned by.
Juju, how was the experience Saturday night with Chris and Tony? There were a lot of people there. You guys watched the fight for hours, and it's just like hanging out at a bar with people who care about MMA. What was the experience Saturday night?
Dano, first and foremost, I want to clear up. You said Masvidal wasn't a good fighter no more. That's Dan's opinion, Jorge Masvidal people. That's Dan's opinion. He's a spectacular fighter. Number two, Tony had a goddamn jacket on with no shirt on. So it was just taco meat. It was Taco Saturday, Dano. Please dive into that.
It was actually 305 Saturday, more importantly, which is why I had no shirt on with a gold Cuban link chain, but that's a different story for another day.
And he made us drink that shit in for 3+ hours, and it was terrible.
So that was the highlight.
That was his objective opinion, Dan, by the way. My people are upset by that.
Stugotz would have loved it. If only you were here. There he is, the highlight owner. All that comes his way is success. He's the owner of a sports team. I don't know. I still don't understand how that happened, and I can't wait for the people listening to this to start betting. You're telling me that on the 20th, they're going to be able to bet on you as a highlight owner.
Well, this Sunday you can actually bet on it too, and you can go out and watch them. But I will not be there this Sunday. The owners don't go to every game. I'll be out there the 20th though. Well, come see me.
The highlight owner lost all consecutive bets on Saturday night. Yeah. Every single bet that he placed was a loser.
We had 5 fights. I came out of the gates, won the first one, bet the favorite, and from there it was 0-4 the rest of the fights. Now I was asking people advice. So UFC expert over here.
Hold on. You didn't take my advice. You took Juju's advice, and he was objectively saying, "Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but you can take him. He's the underdog."
1-4 I went on Saturday night.
It's not my fault.
A lot of tequila.
It
was fun. We had a good time though.
Drake lost 2. I'm sorry?
The one guy, he looked like he had a chin of steel on the pre-fight. So I just thought, hey, his chin looked strong, but it was not, Dano.
Thank you, Juju, for the correspondence. You guys enjoyed yourself, and I am glad that you enjoyed yourself. But what Tony was shirtless, and why are we doing that?
Why not? 305 day, Dan. Do I have to keep explaining it? I don't know what's happening here. I'm celebrating my city, right? And my city means shirtless. But the guy that Juju said had a chin of steel was a guy coming off of 5 days notice of this fight, Moicano, who got absolutely destroyed. He had his eyeball was coming out of his skull.
He doesn't have a left side of his face anymore after the fight.
It was the co-main event, which went 5 rounds, and it wasn't supposed to.
And he got paid like $70K. Because we were looking it up. We're like, how much did this guy get paid to take this beating? And we were like, man, that is a rough go of it for that guy.
You wouldn't take $70K to get beat up by RDA?
It's not covering the bills from what I saw.
He made 80, but
not like that though. But that's the tension in the sport now between what it is that Dana White is doing and how he's got the sport entirely locked up. It's why I was happy to see Masvidal finally. He cashed in with his mouth. He signed. They're reporting that he's going to be one of the 3 highest paid fighters. And when I say, Juju, feel free to put out there so people control me. Lebatard turns on Masvidal, says he's not a good fighter. Whatever, it stinks, is terrible. Whatever it is that's going to get me dragged and make it make Masvidal furious. But the truth of what I just witnessed is that Masvidal's story from literally Miami streets, Kimbo Slice, made it up there with a story like none other. Journeymen don't get to be the pay-per-view stars like that. To get that high up in the machine where Dana White controls all the contracts and stuff and be a journeyman fighter, it's not allowed. And he's now one of their best he's made it all the way to the top. And even though I don't even know how old he is, but when I say not that good anymore, all I mean is like he's on the very tail end of if he fights the Diaz brothers, people will watch it. And
he'd likely win. When you mentioned that he's lost his last 3 fights, he's lost his last 3 fights to the 2 top welterweights on the planet. 2 to Usman, no shame in that, especially And one he took on completely short notice. He wasn't training for it. And I thought he acquitted himself in that second fight a little bit better. And the Covington fight went exactly how everybody assumed it would. You were just hoping maybe he can clock him. And he actually did.
Yeah.
He did.
But by the time he clocked him, he had nothing left to chase that one shot.
But he even lost that. I think he lost all 5 rounds. Tony was fighting for
he
one
won the
round.
second round.
I thought he won the second
'cause
round.
The stand-up was excellent in
debatable.
that, but they were so gassed. I mean, imagine having somebody lean on you for 5 straight minutes for 5 rounds. Like,
I mean, he's a
that's
better
incredible.
wrestler. He said
Yes.
Masvidal said after the fight, if I could go back and do it over again, and I would have gone to college and I would have spent all my time wrestling, so these guys would have to stand up with me. And that is why Masvidal cashed. Dana White had to pay him. Please stand up and headline my cards. Headline my cards because I know you'll go out there and you'll try to stand up.
Why is everyone already pushing Covington versus Usman again? Been there. I don't want to see it. I want to see Gilbert Burns. People sleep on Burns.
He's fighting on April 9th in UFC 273 against Chimaev, who's a really good.
I think he needs to
fight.
fight against Usman again. He had that fight won against Usman, and Usman found out he had punching power in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
He was absolutely on the ropes. Burns is the biggest threat to Usman, and he's not talked about regularly.
And he was supposed to be in that fight. Obviously, he got COVID, wasn't able to go. They brought Masvidal in on a Versace shirt, private jet, eating a pizza on the way over to Abu Dhabi. But yeah, right now Usman's the best pound for pound fighter in the world. And funny that you mentioned the whole thing with Dana White, the new deal. Francis Ngannou, who's the heavyweight champion, defended his title against Cyril Gane, made $650K for that fight, which is crazy when you think of Tyson Fury coming up against Dillian White in Wembley Stadium, which is sold out, by the way. They have like 150,000 people. Tyson Fury is going to make $32 million for that fight. Dillian White, who I had never heard of, is going to make $8 million.
But that's what's happening with John Jones. Everybody wants to see John Jones fight. Heavyweight division, any division. But he's not risking what you guys saw in the co-main event on Saturday. He will not risk that for $500,000. Like that is what I'm telling you to notice is Disney and streaming and partnerships form, and Dana White has a monster business. It's pay per view. And he's a bit of a monopoly. Bellator's out there, but they've built a very strong model. What's going to get crushed there is labor. So I am thrilled to see Masvidal. He cashes in. I don't care how Juju represents it. Go ahead and tell everybody that I say he can't fight anymore and he's not a headliner or whatever else you need to say. But I'm just thrilled for him, man. From Kimbo Slice's knee in the streets of Miami, talked his way into the goddamn game.
Ariel and I were talking about it, Dan, and this is the biggest thing that the UFC has messed up on. Yeah, sorry.
That was a name drop. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Ariel and I were
was on
talking
Mystery
about
Crate.
this.
What do you want me to do?
It was a name drop.
Listen to Mystery Crate, Dan.
Listen to Mystery
But
Crate.
you said like first name basis, didn't even plug
That's my
Mystery
boy.
Crate. You're
That's
just
my-
like, I was just
that's
talking
my
to Ariel.
boy.
You made it seem like it was a private conversation, like just the two of
Some
you on the phone
was
together.
a private conversation. That's a different story for another day. But more importantly, we were talking about the UFC misstepping here, and that fight should have been here in Miami. Like, they haven't done a fight in 15 years in Miami because it was a bad draw. They probably had a bad card. But UFC 272 on 305 day with Masvidal as the main event would have sold out FTX 100%. There would have been people on the streets partying the entire night.
That would be where I'd fight Dana White.
Oh.
Try and rival McAfee, but real. And I'll look like the co-main event. But I'll do it on behalf of the fighters, on behalf of the labor. Stugotz, good to see you.
Hi, Dan.
I enjoyed how you were peppering me with stuff this weekend to just make me insane. One of the things you did is you just said, I've got something for you on
Jason Tatum.
on Jason Tatum. I cannot wait for this. But another thing that you sent me was this wonderful quote that I, again, had to look up 3 and 4 times. Is this Ballsack Sports? Is this, I don't want to be fooled by this? Let me check an alternate source. The quote is, stop the traveling, stop the carrying, stop the moving screens, call the damn game according to the rule book. And the person saying it, of course, is Rick Barry.
I love him.
Stop. Well, it wasn't always so, as Mike Ryan can prove when Stugotz argued with Rick Barry in a way that didn't seem like you loved Rick Barry.
Rick, come on. I could put
Did he
seven.
win a championship without Scottie Pippen?
No, he did not, but I could
Okay,
put
well, then
70
that's the end of that
Pippins
story,
with him.
so go to another one.
But I could put 70
Go to
Scottie.
another one.
I could put 70 Pippins with him, and
Hey,
he wins
now,
6 championships.
Wait a second. That's not the point. The
That
point
is the point.
You're trying to change the parameters. You made a blanket statement that Kobe Bryant has never won it. He's never been the main reason that his team won a championship. And here's the deal.
Rick,
Was
I
it
asked
only
if-
Michael Jordan? If he never won without Scottie Pippen.
Right.
Name another player.
And how many did Pippen win without him?
Name another player.
Rick, how many did Pippen win without him?
How many did Shaq win without Kobe? One, because he had Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Okay, who did Pippen have? Nobody. So go on. Name me another one.
But Rick, the question
Name another
the
one.
question was, do you
Name another
The
one.
question was, Rick Barry, do you think Kobe wants to win one and be the main reason? That was the question.
And I said, yes, I think he does. And I already said that.
And because
I'm
you
asking you to give me another person. You are not answering the question. You haven't come up with anybody.
And because you like Kobe so much,
No,
you
that
heard
has
it the
nothing
way
to do
you
with it.
want to hear it.
Listen,
You heard
opened
it the
your
way
mouth,
you want to hear
stuck
it.
your foot in it. You opened your mouth and stuck your foot in it. Give me another player who was a great player, who was the main responsibility
Rick, it doesn't
for
matter.
winning a championship without help from somebody else.
Hakeem Olajuwon. It doesn't matter who I give you. You're going to throw someone back in my face. Hakeem Olajuwon. Go, Rick.
Hakeem
Go!
Olajuwon I would go for.
Who are you going to get? Oh, you're going to go for that. So I got
Yeah.
you. Okay, Mr. Credibility. Thank you.
I'd listen to that if you want to run off and do that show. The way that Chris Russo and Stephen A. Smith are trying to resurrect the sports debate format to make it a little more agitated. Who would be your dream back and forth guy? Would it be Greeny? Would it be like who would be if you were creating the future of Stugotz?
Greeny's not meant for that.
Yeah, Greeny.
That's not Greeny's.
Yeah, he
no.
can't handle the
different
heat.
cloth.
Yeah.
Greeny's like a velour. That's not what Stugotz.
Well, Billy, as the producer of God Bless Football Stupidity, who's put your imprint on these things with Stugotz, who would you pair Stugotz with if you were trying to apply your anarchy to a future debate show? Because he and Rick Barry's always wanted to be a sports radio host. You guys would just scream at each other the entire time.
I believe Rick Barry is a sports radio host, or at least was for some period of time. Rick is old school. I felt bad about that. So bad that I called him on the way home and I apologized.
Well, your dad made you do that. Like, you didn't want to do that.
He did.
And all you did was lie through your teeth on behalf of having embarrassed your dad. It's not like you wouldn't have done it all over again if you had the chance to argue with Rick Barry. But stop the traveling, stop the carrying, stop the moving screens, call the damn game according to the rule book. That's like how you'd write it in fiction. If you were trying to do the old-timey basketball player who's objecting to what basketball is today. But speaking of old-timey basketball players, did LeBron do the thing, Stugotz, the other night when he came out and he said, I just look for one hater in the crowd and that one hater motivates me? He scored 56 points. He's the oldest player you'll ever see dominate a basketball game like that to beat Golden State.
He was amazing. What he did was he reminded you that, hey, I could still play.
Is that doing the thing?
It's not doing the thing because his team's not good enough to do the thing. So, but that's him reminding you, hey, I could still play.
What is the doing of the thing?
The doing of the thing is like when a team wins a championship and then there's an up-and-coming team like the Memphis Grizzlies who, they walk into Golden State thinking this is their time and then Golden State beats them by 30 at home. That's doing the thing. That's reminding Memphis, hey, you're good. You're not championship good yet, okay? What LeBron did was just, besides being great, he just reminded everyone, hey, I could still do this. I'm not the problem here. Everyone else is. Every now and then, I'll go beat even the Golden State Warriors by myself.
But that's not doing the thing.
No.
That's different from doing the thing.
Yeah, that's totally different.
It seems like
it's two different things, Dan.
But it seems like they'd be the same thing. It seemed like...
No.
Well, him being great is him being great. And so, does he need the team to be great or does he not need the team to be great? Because it seems like both of those things are the thing.
You're not understanding the thing, okay? Let me explain the thing to you.
Well,
clearly.
I don't think you're explaining it very well because I think they're both the thing.
Let me explain it to you. The Rams next year are going to be the Super Bowl champions. There's going to be an upstart team in the NFC who thinks, hey, this is our year. they're going to stroll into SoFi Stadium feeling confident about themselves, and the Rams are going to beat them by 4 touchdowns. That's doing the thing.
That's just football, though.
That's doing the thing,
No,
though. You're
that's
asking
the
me what the
thing.
thing is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's not the thing, though.
You're not
because
getting it.
You need your teammates to do the thing. I feel like I am getting it. I feel like I do understand it. The doing of the thing is being really great and beating the other guy because you're great. That's the doing of the thing.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different.
But needing your team, I didn't think you needed your team to do the thing. I thought the doing of the thing was very much LeBron is going to make a statement. And 56 points is a statement. He beat Golden State with not much of a team. You're
Right.
saying that his team's not good enough to do the thing.
I'm saying his team. Well, Dan, they're not the defending champs.
is
You
it
have
him-
to be the defending champs to do the thing. You're not.
But
You're
that's
not
never
understanding
been,
that.
No, but Stugotz. Stugotz.
It's weird.
Yeah, what's weird about this is that you said the original doing of the thing with LeBron was not being the champion. It's reminding other players that they're not as great as he is, that he's the greatest of the basketball players in this era.
That's the individual thing. There is a team thing, Dan.
You don't
right?
get it.
Yeah, you don't get it.
It's
Like some
different
team,
things.
they're going to stroll into Milwaukee in the postseason, the upstart Bulls, thinking this is their year, and the Bucks are going to end their season at 4 games. That's doing the thing. Okay, that's doing the thing.
But before LeBron ever won a championship, you were claiming that he did the thing in Game 6 in Boston. Like
no.
What?
That wasn't the thing.
But that was the thing at the time. You said he did the thing. At the time, I remember you came in here. It was your big take. Yeah, I mean, like, watch. I'm going to get him with this
Different
one.
thing, Dano.
I'm going to get him with this one.
Look it up.
I'm going to say. Look it up. Look up the audio of how you came in. After.
You can't do the thing when you haven't won a championship yet. Game 6 was LeBron arriving in the postseason. That was the game we've been waiting for our entire lives from LeBron James. Back to the wall game, season on the line, blueprint on the line, the entire team on the line. Riley is watching. You go to Boston, you do it at Game 6. Okay? Now, he did his thing as an individual, but you can't do the thing until you win a championship, Dan. That's how it works. Get your thing straight.
Let me ask you this question as it relates to Skip Bayless and that team and Russell Westbrook. Did you see what happened this weekend with Russell Westbrook's wife and Skip Bayless?
No.
Well, Skip Bayless has been calling Russell Westbrook for a long time, and if you want to, I don't know that you do, because does Skip Bayless still follow no one on Twitter? Because Skip Bayless symbolically is doing the thing on Twitter where I am a professional troll and I will hate athletes and I will follow no one and I will cash in. I will listen to no one. And Russell Westbrook's wife, I can't imagine, right, at this point in Russell Westbrook's career.
Would he just announce that he blocked Skip Bayless as if Skip Bayless is going to troll him?
No,
You just unfollow him.
Trolls me with his existence. And so it's just like people retweet it in my timeline. There's quote tweets. I just don't want it. So the mute didn't work. I muted Skip Bayless and somehow it still ended up in the feed. So I just blocked it. It's gone.
That's why he's approaching GOAT status, because he can be the GOAT troll of doing this. But the thing I wanted to ask you, Russell Westbrook's wife, and when I read the story, forgive me, I did not see her name. So she has a name. I don't know it off the top of my head. But she was mad at Skip Bayless, and she said, just do better. And her argument was, because it can't be a lot of fun, right, at this point, Stugotz, to just sleep next to, no matter how rich you are, sleep next to someone that you love, and they are under it in Los Angeles. And it's not just an MVP, triple doubles. Russell Westbrook is now, after, it was beloved and heroic. He stayed in OKC, unlike that traitorous Kevin Durant. And look at what he did in OKC. He was a star, triple doubles. Everything is great. And you are riding that high with Russell Westbrook, human being who does superhuman things. And me and Mike have been wondering for 10 years, how's that going to age when you just can't be more athletic than everyone else and your game's not efficient? When that comes home at night into your loving arms, and I know he's got a balloon contract that will pay him $44 million next year, so you can make the argument, he's got plenty of money. It doesn't hurt. He's fine.
By the way, you're right. His wife does have a name. Nina.
Thank you.
You got it.
And Nina is hurt, understandably, that Skip Bayless won't stop this, and furthermore, blocked her. And she's like, well, you should have to endure the consequences of what you're doing to this man I love. You're just chasing him around, laughing at Westbrook. And he doesn't have to listen to it because he can block it out. And there's a mastery to just sort of saying the things. I mean, look how silly that is. He's 70 years old. It's LeBrick and Westbrook. But how happy do you think Russell Westbrook is right now as somebody? He is defiantly, it is being reported that with defiance, he does not want to leave the starting lineup, that Frank Vogel does, and Amin and Tom Haberstroh told you as soon as that trade happened, that is subtraction by addition. They'd be better off not even putting a body there than putting that one there. How do you imagine the aging process is going for Russell Westbrook right now?
All of this has to feel lousy. Russell Westbrook, his entire life, has been the best athlete on any field or any court that he's been on. And he's been a reason that his teams are good, not a reason that his teams are bad. And now he is bearing basically the sole responsibility for the Lakers not being as good as a lot of people thought they were going to be. And so, yeah, Dan, that has to be, I mean, a massive fall for him and a massive, like, he goes home. He's never had these feelings before where he's the guy being blamed for all of it.
And when we talk about king-making in sport, right, because the ending of LeBron as a signature figure in this league when, God damn, Stugotz, he has been carrying this thing for a long time, and the Lakers are not good enough. And they had a relevant game at night. This is why I thought you would say that LeBron did the thing. They had a relevant game at night, and they were playing Golden State. And LeBron, who's been complaining, I don't understand why my legacy doesn't have me as one of the great scorers of all time. Why am I not considered one of the great scorers? He might at his age, Stugotz. How far is he off being scoring champion in the league this year? He's asking people, as we've been chasing him around, hey, you're not the greatest. You got to go up against the GOAT and a ghost. You'll never be as good as Michael Jordan. Your peers, maybe. Best of this time, maybe. But you, look, at the end of your power, at the end of you being the king in this league, as your management agency goes up against CAA in New York. Like it's Clutch and it's CAA for Battle of Game of Thrones after this.
LeBron is second to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid at I was looking at efficiency. He had 29.5 points per game.
LeBron 29.4.
A tenth of a point right behind him.
Yeah, and Giannis after that.
Are you willing to retroactively say it was the doing of the thing when you add all of these elements to it, or maybe redefine the thing?
You really want this to be the thing, don't you?
I want to understand better the thing. I want you to explain to me.
But it's my thing. I mean, you're trying to define and change my thing. I'm telling you what my thing is.
Okay, so what would you tell us this is then? What was just done? Because it wasn't just reminding everyone at the end, right, Stugotz? Because it is the end.
It was a thing, not the thing. I mean, I'm trying to tell you that.
So just a thing, but
yes.
Can you tell, and that's all we're going to call this. You're telling me that telling everybody, hey, I'm a great scorer for all time, why don't you know it? Telling everybody with Anthony Davis out, hey, Steph Curry, you remember a few finals ago that time I did the thing that Stugotz said I did the thing because he was coming through the lane and I blocked his shot? Not yet, little man. Still my sport. You're not going to come and take my sport. I'm doing the thing here.
That was him doing the thing.
Yes, I understand the thing.
Oh, you sure you understand?
Now I do. Yes,
okay.
Now I do. I now have clarity on this.
I don't know.
Billy, would you like to explain the thing to me?
No, I get the thing. Whether I get the thing or not is not what's in question here.
You either get the thing or you don't get the thing.
Yeah? I'm the one who doesn't get the thing. But this new thing, you're not only scoring 56, oldest, biggest barrage by someone that age ever, while telling us you're coming after haters, right? You're telling us in the audience, I like to find the hater. You can't do this as a team anymore. We just said the other day, they're out in Los Angeles. Like you've seen the public relations of Clutch saying we had a meeting, we cleared the air after LeBron flirted with everybody at the All-Star game. Open for business. My league, open for business. I'm choosing the All-Star games. Who wants me? Cleveland, that door's not closed.
That's him doing his thing.
Wait a minute. That's a different thing?
Yes.
That's his thing.
Yes. His thing. Yes.
His thing.
His thing. Yes.
He comes back, and now, on top of everything else, at the very end, LeBron, You wanted Russell Westbrook there. And at the very end, you know what Russell Westbrook gets to be in his career, Stugotz? The meat shield, like he was for Durant. It's not my fault. I just scored 56. Look at that. This guy whose wife is fighting with Skip Bayless. It's his fault. It's not Anthony Davis's fault. It's not this team I built. It's the meat shield. I learned it from Durant. I learned it from you, Kevin.
It ain't the thing, but it's one of his things. I mean,
no, wait a minute. That's not his thing.
It ain't the thing. Oh, no, LeBron loves to remind you of what he's done in the past, of how great he still is, about how it's never his fault. He loves to remind you of that stuff. That's his thing.
That's why he surrounds himself with bad players, so that he can look great by comparison. That's a thing that he does. Is it not?
Put it on the poll at Lebatard Show. Does LeBron surround himself with bad players?
He used to be good enough that he could overcome these obstacles that he created for himself, and he'd still win. You're like, oh my God, look at this team that he won with. But not anymore. So now you're like, wow.
That's correct.
That's these bad players.
And that's how
he dragged those Cavs teams to the NBA Finals, right? He used to do that one. I mean, that's his thing.
Another one. How many his things are there?
He's got a lot of things,
but
man.
It sounds like there are 10 his things. How's that going to end? Because that payment for Westbrook is $40 million, and he's going to have to opt in on it. He can't be so unhappy that he's going to. Can he be so unhappy that he opts out of that and loses $40 million?
$47 million next year's his player option. He's 100% taking that.
That's his thing.
Yeah. And if he's got to like go away and like that's the end, and he just retires after the season, but he's taking that $47 million.
But is it over for Westbrook? Is it done? Is his career over? Did we just get him unmasked? Man, we spent 2 years celebrating this guy as what are all these triple-double averages? How is it possible? He's the MVP of the league. How is he the best rebounding guard we've ever seen?
That's what you do when you surround yourself with bad players. You stand out. That's what Billy and I are talking about. It's a Westbrook thing, too. I mean, it's amazing. Now you play with LeBron, and all of a sudden there are expectations. And LeBron ain't taking the blame, so he's going to pass it along to you because that's his thing. I mean, it's crazy, all these things.
I feel like it's pretty amazing that LeBron can just sort of turn on a switch and say, today I'm going to lead the league in scoring, and I'm going to score 50 against Golden State at 37. Like, you've got to really hate athletes in order to just bury him again and again, even though I was quoted on our social media accounts of saying he's done. When clearly he isn't, but he's got to get out of there. He's got to figure out a way to get out of Los Angeles.
He's got to figure out a way how to get out or figure out a way how to get Westbrook out. And Westbrook ain't happening. So he's got to figure his way out, and that's his thing.
Do you find interesting, again with his things?
Well, that's another one of his things, Dan. I mean, listen, when the going gets tough, what does he do? He leaves.
He's a gack.
Yep.
I mean, you can't argue that that's not one of his things. Leaves when things get difficult. And then he just goes somewhere else where he makes things difficult for himself, and he's like, oh, who did this? It's like, well, you did this. And then he leaves there, too.
For 3 different teams now. This thing is building terrible teams. They're like, oh, what happened here? I'm going to talk about Sam Presti, even though I was like, oh, no, I have no use for draft picks and young players. But I love what Sam Presti is doing in Oklahoma City. Please.
I really didn't understand. I was confused by that as a chess move. Like, to go and call Sam Presti the MVP, it can only be because you're mad. The only explanation for that is you want people to know the Lakers don't have draft picks because you were trying.
asked for them all to be traded for Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. Doing it to himself. And then like 2 days later, they're like, somebody asked him about draft picks. He goes, I don't have time for draft picks. Like young players, draft picks. And then you look at, and then he'll probably go, oh, but the Heat have so many good young players. How did that happen? Well, they're not signing 36-year-old Carmelo Anthony to be a role player. They're actually developing their young players.
Why are you so mad?
Because he's such a web of inconsistancies.
Whoa.
Wow.
What did you want to say?
He's a web of inconsistencies. He's the Stugotz of basketball players.
You were going to say wanker.
I wanted the word. I wanted the word. Yeah, it became web of inconsistencies, and I need.
It seemed like D was the next word that was coming. I was just kind of seeing how your mouth is moving. It wasn't a W.
What? You don't have to tell us what you were going to say. You just need to admit that it wasn't going to be web of inconsistencies.
I was looking for it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna call him names or anything.
do it.
He just is incredibly inconsistent, and he has all these public messaging about, oh, the Lakers are doing me wrong. They've done everything you've asked them to do from start to finish. And yet now, here you are in year 4 at 10 games under 500 on the brink of the play-in game. You're going to lose to the Pelicans.
He won't be able to sleep.
Oh my God. Someone's gonna tell him, right?
You showed him, says Chris Cody. That is the meanest thing anyone said to LeBron in 20 years. You're a web of inconsistencies. It might be, though. So to call him the Stugotz of basketball is a special kind of insult.
start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Stat of the day is presented by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I don't know if you saw this insane Nuggets Pelicans basketball game, but Nikola Jokic's stats in the fourth quarter and overtime. This is a single game. We were just talking about LeBron's 56 points. You say you got something for me, I imagine, is in weekend observations about Jason Tatum. In the fourth quarter and overtime only against the Pelicans, Jokic scored 30 points on 10 of 11 from the field and 9 for 9 from the three-point line. 33 and 3. He went 33-3 fourth quarter and overtime, and nobody in Denver's watching the Nuggets. It's the worst. It's the worst ratings in 15 years, lowest ever seen. I got to imagine if that weren't a foreign player, if that were a white American, I got to imagine that would be different. That there's something that you don't get a talent like this and not support him on television. That's not something that ever happens.
There's a reason why that's happening, though, is because the regional sports network that the Kroenke own is not being carried, I believe, on Comcast right now. So a huge part of Denver can't watch the games.
How crazy is that?
Right.
Do they normally get good ratings, though, for Nuggets basketball?
I think they're considerably down year over year. So I think that they get decent ratings in Denver. But you're right. Like it's weird that Jokic doesn't get that same kind of treatment.
How exasperated would you be if you had that kind of talent in your city and mountains weren't moved to make sure that you could watch it on television? How I don't know if Nuggets are good, but never the kind of great that you expect to win the championship. It can be any number of these things. I always wonder, like I see the Klitschko brothers fighting in Ukraine, and I wonder to myself, if those two dudes had just been Americans as great white hopes in America in boxing, how much more famous would those two dudes have been if, I know it was a boring era, and I know that those were boring fights, but for 10 years, a couple of white brothers dominated the heavyweight division in boxing and are now fighting for Ukraine, as one of them's the mayor. And I wonder if Jokic would be more popular if there was something across the divide that could connect us to, wait a minute, a giant white dude is the best dude in the NBA and can put up 30 points at the end of a game in fourth quarter and overtime. And I've never seen anybody who looks like him play that way. How is he not a bigger star? How is it not something that resonates across our, popular sport?
Well, I think, like you said, people don't treat them as a serious contender to win the title, especially now that they have Jamal Murray out for the season, and if he comes back, it's for the playoffs in a diluted state. So he's not really been a championship contender. But I also imagine if you flip last year's finals with Phoenix for Denver, and Denver were strong and Jokic were in it, I think you'd have gotten the similar low ratings that Phoenix and Milwaukee got. That Denver and Jokic just doesn't register in the way that big American stars do, or big athletic star. I don't know what the difference is between Steph Curry's unique skill set and Nikola Jokic's unique skill set, which is not just about how he looks, it's about how he plays. He's a big man who does it all on the ground with passing and with skill and with shooting. There's nobody who's ever played the game like him, and yet for whatever reason, it just doesn't carry and resonate. Even the notion of him being a two-time MVP, which he very well could be, and perhaps if you look at the statistical case for him, his numbers are way better than everybody else's.
Crazy.
Generally, big men don't sell jerseys and peak interest. If you look at top jersey sales, they're all perimeter players in the top 15 outside of two, and one of them has Lakers ties in Anthony Davis, and the other one is Joel Embiid, who does some things on the perimeter too. It's just no one puts on their Jokic jersey growing up saying, I'm going to play like this. It's so hard to replicate. They like to do things on the perimeter.
We will get to funniest thing from the sports weekend in a second. Stugotz also has his weekend observations. It would appear that an Aaron Rodgers decision is coming very quickly. The reports are, Stugotz, that it is Denver. Let me see if I have this right because I don't want to miss anyone. Jessica's Steelers are in the mix on Aaron Rodgers.
They should be in the mix.
As well. You're rooting for this, right? Because it said
the Titans as well.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was the among the four. That the Packers are the other one.
I mean, someone on this show said a few months ago the Titans would be a good fit for Aaron Rodgers.
It doesn't feel like a Steelers-y thing to do, so I'll believe it when I see it.
If he ends up on the Packers again, get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear from him ever again.
Yep.
He can't have put us through all of this crap just to end up in Green Bay again. Don't talk, don't complain, don't do anything if you end up on the Packers again. Not a thing. I don't want to hear a peep from him. Not one. Not a peep. Not even on Easter.
Oh my God, it's peep season. I went to Target the other day. There were peeps everywhere. They had flamin' hot peeps.
What?
Flamin' hot
No
peeps.
way.
I took a picture of all of them. There
Show
was,
me
like,
the picture. You're lying.
I put on one. They have these like peep headbands. I put it on and took a selfie. There's I love peeps. There's so many different kinds of peeps right now. You guys, it's crazy. Billy, I'll send you the picture.
Jessica, does an alarm not go off in your head when Billy supports something you're saying?
What do you mean? It's peep season, Dan. Dan, you love peeps.
Party cake peeps.
You love peeps.
Hot tamale peeps.
You get that, Dan, out of your mouth coming at me that aggressively as a peep lover with all your undercurrent of fat jokes in it.
Love peeps.
Jessica, do you not realize that...
do you always wear sunglasses indoors, or is this like a new thing?
I don't. Yeah, actually, you're right. I don't know why I have my sunglasses on in this picture.
What's the matter with you today, Jessica?
Really
What did you drink too much yesterday? What's the matter with you?
Cafecito, maybe. I had a lot of sugar last night. I made s'mores bars for the whole gang. Left them at home.
Oh, man.
She was walking like a 90-year-old in the
Waste of
break.
time.
It's so cold in here, Dan.
She
You don't
just-
understand. It's so uncomfortable.
She said my feet are cold, but she's wearing sneakers. How is that
I have
even
a blanket
possible?
on. I have a fleece DraftKings blanket on. I'm freezing.
Is cold something that affects your ability?
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, Billy, if he makes a decision in the next 24 hours, the only way that you support it is if he's going somewhere else. You will be infuriated if all of this nonsense you don't believe he's torn?
No. It will be annoying. You don't think it'll be annoying if he ends up in Green Bay again after he's been crying for 2 years about this situation and then just goes back? And then he'll just start complaining again next year about it after he decided to go back. Enough. Go somewhere, don't go somewhere. Just enough already.
If he weren't torn, though, wouldn't this have already happened? Like, if it wasn't...
No.
Don't go somewhere.
No. You don't understand Aaron Rodgers and how he works. He doesn't do things quietly. He does things for the most attention and eyeballs on him. Remember when he did that thing on Instagram and we're like, whoa, what does this mean? And it's like, oh, everybody needs to go watch Pat McAfee today because he's going to say something. He's like, oh, what? What I put out there? Had people talking? Oh, I had a cleanse, so I was putting up pictures. I just felt so grateful. What? How? You guys misinterpret. How did you think that me putting up the pictures where I was missing meant that I wanted to leave? What? Huh? What? Huh? Please.
Billy was his favorite, too.
Yeah.
What's going to happen there?
I don't think there's a reason why he shouldn't still like me.
You know, I've asked myself that too. He was my favorite. What happened there?
You have. I've been sobbing. I mean, the number of times my wife has caught me in the bathroom, like, it's just Fauci. Why is Fauci? Why do you go after Fauci? He's just an old man. Stugotz is mad at Baselli.
I am. Tony Baselli just announced that the guy who's going to introduce him at the Hall of Fame ceremony is Mark Brunell. What an outrage. It should be me. I did more to get him into the Hall of Fame, and we have a deal in place, than Mark Brunell did. He protected Mark Brunell. Why is Mark Brunell the guy that he is choosing to make his Hall of Fame introduction speech? It should be me. I mean, the lengths I went to by talking to Peter King, by calling up the Jaguars, by calling the Hall of Fame myself to get Tony Baselli in this damn Hall of Fame, and now he's bailing on me. Brunell, please.
Do we think Stugotz actually cracks the top 25 if he made a list of like, all right, I got to have a backup plan here. So I'm going to make a list of all the people.
McCardle is there first.
Why? Keenan McCardle is before Stugotz on the list. How many people?
I believe they're right.
How low on this list of former Jags can we go before we arrive at Tony Baselli trusting this most precious moment at the fountain of youth?
That wouldn't have happened without Stugotz, by the
Thank
way.
you, Billy.
Bit of an ingrate, if you will.
Tom Capers. I think Stugotz, you can do this and make me laugh if you just do former Jaguars right now and just shout their names from various places. 1990s Jaguars, if you want to. But Stugotz, you're happy for Baselli. You have had him on.
I was.
Are you threatening to go on a diatribe and beef with Baselli to get him taken out of the Hall of Fame that you got him in?
Yes, I am. I am prepared to do that. I mean, Dan, it is an outrage. It really is when you think about it, that he would choose Fred Taylor or Jimmy Smith or any of these guys over me, Keenan McCardell. I mean, are you kidding me? I did more for Tony Baselli blocked so all those guys could have borderline Hall of Fame careers. He was the Hall of Famer. No one recognized it except for me and Peter King.
I didn't even know who he was until Stugotz started talking about him.
Yep.
It's true, actually. I feel like back in June or July, one of my first months here, I asked you who Tony Baselli was.
We will do funniest thing from the sports weekend in a second, and we also have Stugotz's weekend observations, but I wanted to get to this story before we do that.
You think he chooses Kyle Brady over me?
I think he chooses anyone with whom he played football over you. Just anybody who was in the trenches with him. He cannot trust you for a big moment in his life to make the speech that's going to properly respect what he thinks football is.
It's a moment he has because of me. Leon Searcy
would absolutely be put out there before you would be. Did you see, before we get to Stugotz's weekend observations, what happened this weekend with Brittany Griner? Well, it didn't happen this weekend. It was reported this weekend. I'll take that as a no.
I'm looking up 90s Jaguars, Dan. Sorry. Yeah.
So you didn't hear about Brittany Griner over the
Well,
weekend?
I did hear about it. I should have answered that question. I apologize. Just a simple yes would have been nice to keep it moving. I get it. I've done this before.
Wreck the show because you weren't listening?
Well,
or...
I mean, you asked us to throw out 90s Jags, and I'm looking them up for you.
You got a team full of producers trying to feed you 90s Jags. What do you know about Brittany Griner?
What are you actually doing? It wasn't that, because all those names that you came up with were fed to you by the room. I saw them looking it up for you. Were you also looking it up so you could tell me how nobody ever does anything for you?
Rob Johnson? Are you kidding me?
XJS?
What happened with Brittany Griner, for those of you who do not know, she's a 7-time All-Star, one of the biggest stars in the WNBA. She plays for the Phoenix Mercury, and it took us many weeks to learn, because many of the famous and great women in basketball in America have to play overseas because the money's not as good here as it is elsewhere. And she was arrested or detained with vape cartridges at the Russian airport. She may now be like part of political posturing and bargaining as a political prisoner.
I read hashish oil, which is I can't even never heard that before.
We can't believe a single word that's in these reports. Like, they could just have completely fabricated that. Like every aspect of the reporting there is to be doubted.
Yeah, I am usually inclined to believe there's some funny business when it comes to Russia and their media reports. When I read hashish oil, the alarm started ringing. This is a really unfortunate situation, and the geopolitical ramifications, because right now Russia is certainly in no position to be doing the United States any favors, it feels like. So this is going to be prolonged, and I feel really bad for Brittany Griner.
One of the things that cannot be trusted, as you say, in any of the news and information coming out of Russia, or I should say one of the details that can be trusted, is that this can come up there 10 years. The penalty can be 10 years in prison. It's not what it is here. So when we talk about cancel culture around here, as Dave Chappelle produces 4 more comedy shows for Netflix, know that Russia's biggest late-night talk show host, Ivan Urgent, was critical of the war and then just vanished. wasn't on television anymore. Like if you don't understand with what's being dealt with here, or if you're you've gotten very used to freedom and like to argue, get into arguments about woke and cancel culture, like what we're talking about in war is that Brittany Griner, we did not even know publicly that she'd been like this took weeks. This information took weeks to get to us. And it sounds like, no matter what you believe or don't believe about the reporting, is that it may have been something that would be sort of winked and nodded at in the United States. Like this is not drug trafficking. This is I mean, it sounds like a reckless detail that is lost in basketball leagues and in American culture where a lot of people are vaping.
I mean, once upon a time, it would have been a big deal in the United States. It no longer is in 2022.
Okay, but not this kind, not 10 years.
No,
not some of the stuff that's happening in Russia where they have taken a star American and now that person might be a bargaining chip.
Right.
You can make the argument that person can be treated as a political prisoner bargaining chip at a time that America doesn't want to bargain with Russia on anything.
I believe it was by design that we didn't hear about it for 3 weeks. In fact, it was Russian media that came out with the news because the more of a bigger deal that is made here in this country about it, the more it seems to matter to us. And the more leverage Russia would seemingly have in any sort of negotiations.
She's essentially right now a prisoner of war. And that's horrifying, especially when you consider some of the anti-gay laws and just sentiment in Russia. She's black. Like, that's not a good place to be right now. So the way that she can be discriminated against and thrown in jail, it has to be horrifying. And it's part of an overall culture, and I'm sure Jess and Kate Fagan have covered a lot in Off the Looking Glass, the nature of how Russian women's basketball almost needed to be a supplement from a salary standpoint for a lot of women's basketball players. They get paid to play more over there than they do here. And so it's just an overall unfortunate incident that has now come together, and it's a part of a war and horrifying for her.
That was one of my main takeaways too, is it's still at this situation where Brittany Griner has to go to Russia and play during time of high tensions to be able to supplement her income, to get paid not even fairly, to be able to supplement her income.
It's not even supplement her income. It's her income. The WNBA is her supplemental income, and most women's basketball players is.
One of the perils of doing this live is I have no idea right now how to segue into funniest thing from the sports weekend.
Hardy Nickerson.
That's a good one.
Hey, people.
Good comedic
Tell us
name.
what in the sport made you laugh hardest this weekend. It is a segment we call What Made You Laugh This Weekend. Ha ha ha!
Funniest thing from the sports weekend is presented by CBD MD.
Let's go around the room here and start with Tony. Tony's last seen shirtless on YouTube. Stugotz, you missed all of that. You would have been leering at our YouTube channel.
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
Tony, what was the funniest thing from the sports
Wet
weekend?
bar over at Coco K, right, Stu? For my bachelor party.
Never forget.
Over the weekend on UFC, Joe Rogan was back for 272, and Umar Nurmagomedov, who is the cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov, arguably one of the best fighters of all time. He won his fight in a choke. He had a rear naked choke of somebody in like 13 seconds, and they were doing the post-fight interview, and then as he's walking away, Joe Rogan goes, Umar.
Ejected on it. It was so
That's
good.
how you do it, though.
Well, he tried to do it, they tried it again, and then he just like faded away from the mic. Like, it was
So that's why he just went by Khabib.
Chris, what was the funniest? Chris Cody, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Norwich City's Brandon Williams. He had got into a scuffle with a player, got tackled to the ground, and he was furious. He turned around like, I'm about to fight this guy. And then he realized it was Christian Eriksen who almost died on the field last year. So he quickly was like, "Ooh, it's you. Let me give you a hug with a smile."
Awkward.
It was really funny and awkward.
Whittingham, funniest thing.
Just everything that happened around Coach K.
That's
From start to
You
finish.
stole it. Go ahead, Billy. If you want to supplement, that's fine. I'm saying we can have. It was that funny. It certainly would merit two people finding it the funniest thing of the sports weekend.
I mean, what a sad day for him, huh? Getting blown out. We were running some numbers, Stugotz and I, because that's what we do in the breaks sometimes, Dan. Very poor showing percentage-wise for the number of players that showed up for him. He coached for what, 600 years?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 30 players there for him.
Yep.
I mean, I think you could argue that he was not well liked.
14 guys on a roster, 40 years at Duke. I think that's like 500 and something players, and only 96 showed up. Not everyone liked him, Dan.
Below the Mendoza line.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll, please, Billy, at Lebatard Show. If only 30 former players showed up for Coach K's retirement, can you argue that he was not well liked by his players? Jessica, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
You not picking up your dog's poop.
It's also not true.
Prove it.
You know what's funny? I took a picture at 6 o'clock in the morning right afterward, and it was blurry on my phone, and I didn't notice until I got upstairs. Because I wanted to prove to everybody that I had picked it up and have it timestamped, but now, whatever. Claim what you wish. Think me a liar if you'd like. I would not. I was picking up diarrhea all weekend. Dog diarrhea. I don't think most people would do that. I did the gagging thing one of the times. Because it's it's so unpleasant. Picking up dog diarrhea? Mike, what was the funniest thing from the sports weekend?
Kevin Holland in the UFC card was put in a chokehold and gave a thumbs up, poised as can be, to the hard cam to signify, no, I'm good. I'll wait this one out into the bell. He did, and that was a great fight, by the way. That one was electric.
He knew there was only 1 second left, right?
Yeah, he knew that he was going to make it to whatever the bell was. So while it was cinched in, no worries. Kevin Trailblazer Holland was all good.
What do you got for us, Stugotz?
ESPN loves to let Bill Walton ramble about really anything except for Russia.
Did they cut off his mic?
They did. Yes.
I saw a clip, and it looked like he's like, you go to Russia, and then it just stopped. There was no more sound.
Do you think they? Oh my God! I wonder if they had a cue that if he says Russia or Ukraine, just dump it.
Which I'm confused by, as we don't allow Disney Plus in their country. This isn't a time of internal political strife. Really, everyone should be on the same line. Russia bad, Ukraine good. This one, why hit the panic button there? The parent company is ceasing operations there.
Well, what happened with Desmond Howard and Go Blue this weekend?
Oh, hold on. Walking it back. That was the funniest thing of the sports weekend. What? Yes, is it allowed to be funny? Did you just ask that? Did you just ask if Chris Fowler posting a photo of a bridge lit up in Ukrainian colors to show solidarity with the nation of Ukraine, and Desmond Howard replying to that tweet saying "Go Blue"? You're asking if that's funny. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if you think it's not funny, you're entitled to your opinion. But you and I will never see comedy the same way. It's funny.
I asked Mike how he thought ESPN was going to handle that. Executives were like, do they even? They just hope it blows over, right? That please, just, I don't want to have to address this in public. Can't one of those media writers call ESPN and just ask, like, how do you handle the fact that Go Blue was a part of this?
I've got Fowler sending Desmond a text like, hey, by the way, you know that what I meant there. Well, I just imagine that back and forth.
No, please
what
continue.
Is it?
Please explain whatever it is that you started to explain there.
You got it.
As a team owner, how would you handle one of your highlight players doing this?
I would probably just let the news story go away. You know, sometimes it can be more attention if you talk about it.
Yeah.
So I would probably just let it fly under the radar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got you.
I'm still working these things out, how I'm going to handle things.
Still instituting a media policy. It's
That's
still
right.
very early in the proceedings over for the Cessna Cyclones.
I do not want to be the joy police.
Go Cones.
But I have one of the things that was funny from this weekend. Did you see this, Stugotz? Because I don't know how much you're even watching your heartbreaking Knicks at this point. Did you see how they lost?
I told you I was done.
Did you see how they lost the other night? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about when I just say to you how they lost the other night?
Which night was it? Which loss?
The Phoenix loss.
Was that Saturday?
It was it was Friday. They were leading late. Did you see any of this? Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No
What was
idea.
the point of that follow-up?
Well, I was at the Heat game Saturday, so there's no way.
But it wasn't Saturday.
It was Friday.
Were you trying to make an excuse for why you didn't watch your Knicks, and you thought a good excuse would be, I was at Heat, but you're not even paying attention to how the Knicks are losing when they
Nope.
when they lose in this heartbreaking fashion. Well, at the end of the game, 38 points at the end of a game, down 2. Cam Johnson runs down the court. Mike, why are you laughing? As Stugotz scrambles to find the next
Just
game.
found out they lost by a point.
He was
yes.
at the Heat game Saturday.
It's a good loss.
Right. So what happened with Cam Johnson?
Anytime you can extend to an 8-game losing streak, I think it's a good loss.
Draft position, Mike.
I'm surprised, though, Stugotz, that you're not even learning anywhere in your orbit when the Knicks lose in like incredibly dramatic fashion. Like the news is still not reaching you somehow. I don't know what you're
Big
doing.
Heat game on Saturday. I told you.
So Cam Johnson, after making the shot, he banks in a game winner. First of all, who was it? Was it Julius Randle who missed the free throw? Because it's not just that you were up 2, but a Knick misses the free throw. And so the game can now be won by a 3. Cam Johnson gets the ball and banks it in. And I would argue, even though I don't want to be the joy police, that you can have all the joy in the world in that situation, but you should not be allowed to strut at half court with a swagger when that's not how you meant to make it. You should be able to celebrate everything about your night.
The bank was open, Dan.
The bank was open. And so I ask you guys the question, and I ask at Lebatard Show, what are you doing, Billy? Why are you shaking your head at the...
Because something's going on between Juju and Ryan Cortez and myself, where Chris Cody just keeps updating me every time they take something that I said and put it out there on social media and start tagging people and just trying to cause problems for me.
I mean, you did.
They've done it like 3 times today already.
You said what you said about Aaron Rodgers. It's out there now.
I'm taking a vow of silence for Lent.
But Billy, why would you be an agent of chaos in here and not welcome people being an agent of chaos with the things that you say?
I just say things. I have fun. I like to have a good time.
We like to have fun here.
Yeah, but they take my words and they try to make them these divisive tools of theirs to cause division, and that's not what I'm here for.
But how are they doing it? Explain to me how they're trolling the agent of chaos in a way that the agent of chaos finds uncomfortable.
Right here, they put up the video. It says, don't talk, don't complain, don't do anything if you end up on the Packers again. Billy Gill's message to Aaron Rodgers. It's not a message to Aaron Rodgers. It's just words that I was saying. LeBron surrounds himself with terrible players, and then they quoted me on that one, too. And these aren't things that I'm saying.
They are things that you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying them,
Right.
There's a difference between saying them
And meaning them.
saying them.
Yes,
Not with Stugotz. No. It's just all of the sayings have no meanings. I guess there's not much of a difference. You're objecting to them using your words against you.
Weaponizing me.
I love weaponizing you. I want to poison the internet. Lebatard Show turns on Aaron Rodgers, and I want your comments to be the reason because...
Well, yeah, but it's a nice place for you to be in when it's my words that are the reason.
Yeah, how's it feel?
No, it's not the Billy Gill show, guys.
It's not? I feel like every time you're an agent of chaos, it is. No?
No, not yet.
It doesn't feel so good when someone does it to you.
Cortez.
Do you think that he should be strutting after making it on the bank shot when that's not how he... Again, all the joy in the world right up to strutting. Right up to slowing down. You did not mean to make it that way. You banked it in.
Well, what would you like him to do? Like not celebrate at all? I mean...
No, I'm not. No. I am making it a degree of celebration. I am saying right up until that point. Celebrate with all the joy right up until the strutting.
Did he call glass?
That does matter, doesn't it?
Of course it matters. It means everything. I mean,
And if he called glass, I would allow the strutting. Yes. Are you ready to do Stugotz's weekend observations? Because it sounds like you didn't watch very much.
I watched a ton, Dan.
Okay.
A bunch of Heat games.
All right. Yes, you were at the Heat game Saturday night watching everything.
Just camped out down here for a weekend, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Little Heat game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was it, a little getaway with the wife?
Little getaway with the wife, yeah.
That's romantic. Did you have an anniversary or something?
No, just because.
Just because?
Yes,
Hold on.
just
Look at
because.
you. Look at you.
Why
I thought
did
you walked in with a bounce.
Why did you go to the Heat game? What's the
I'm
catch?
supposed to be on vacation with my kids, spring break, their final spring break, but we have other plans in Austin. So, I mean, that got
Doesn't
ruined.
answer like the Heat thing. There's a catch here.
What do you mean?
Were you paid to be there?
I was not paid. I paid to be there. Believe it or not.
I'm not having
I don't
this.
believe this.
There's
What?
some ulterior motive. There's another.
What?
There's another reason why you were there. That's a long out. You could have gone to a Panthers game this weekend.
No. I stayed at a hotel down here, okay, and we went to the Heat game. It was a big game. I thought James Harden was playing. He wasn't playing, and Embiid was barely playing. And so I went to the game. I thought it was a big one. If you're going to go to one game this year, I figured Heat Sixers on a Saturday night, and it disappointed. The Heat were great. The Sixers disappointed.
Abby wanted to see the beard. He told us this before, guys.
Yep.
Come on.
Stugotz also broke news that we were not ready to break. That yes, we are coming to Austin later this week. Thank you, Austin, for embracing us with all the downloads. We will be there later this week to have a good deal of fun with Austin. So it's not just that Stugotz isn't watching anything, but he's saying things he should not be saying on the air because he hasn't read anything that's going on in the
throwing
comments.
throwing stones from a glass house there, Dan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's rich.
Thank you.
Formal announcement coming soon.
Okay,
All right.
let's do funniest thing
Sorry.
from the sports weekend.
It is time for Stugotz
Main
to
observation.
share his game notes.
Wait, I'm confused. Which
No
one am I
one in the
playing?
media will tell you.
Is it this one?
Hey, people.
I only
tell
go on
us
Dan's
what in
cues.
sport made you laugh.
I'm sorry.
It
my
is
bad.
time for
Just
Stugotz to
edit
share
this
his
out.
game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, like most good things, it kind of disappeared with the pandemic. But now that we are past the pandemic, even though we're not, once again, we are discussing the size of a quarterback's hand.
Yes.
Very large men
Yes.
are running 4.6 40 times. And Doug Peterson is taking in every second of it with a smile.
That's right.
And Dan, just like that, the NFL scouting combine is back. Dan was right. Jason Tatum isn't Kevin Durant. He's better.
That's you having something for
Oh,
me?
there's more.
Okay.
I mean, what are you doing with Tatum, by the way? You do this thing where I make announcements and I tell you a guy's going to be great, and you forget that he's 22 years old. He's only 24, Jason Tatum.
Didn't say he wasn't going to be great. Just said he's not going to be Kevin Durant.
You did the thing with Durant, too, coming out of college.
I said
Skinny.
I said that I did say that. I did say that I'd take
picked
Odin over him. That I did say.
Dan, you know what the K in Coach K stands for? Curtain call.
Oh, choke is what I was going to go with. There.
There are a few things better than a good lawn. I love a good lawn.
Is that right?
Yeah. Top 5 lawns.
What?
I have my top 5 lawns.
Okay, very good.
The lawn at the Mandarin Oriental Brickell Key.
Where did you stay this weekend?
A delightful lawn overlooking the bay. Beautiful, fluffy grass. You have a picnic out there. Perhaps I did.
I don't think you had a picnic out there.
I didn't. White House, South Lawn. Number 4. Number 3, my former neighbor's lawn, John Crean.
Creany.
Creedy. This guy, Dad, I am telling you, he worked on his lawn nonstop. It looked like the fairway of a golf hole at Augusta.
That's nice. You had a neighbor with a nice lawn.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yep. John Crean. Creany. Yeah. What a great guy. I miss him.
I don't believe you.
You're right.
Is he still with us? Or?
Mm-hmm. Center court, Wimbledon.
Good one.
Opening day, though.
That was number 2.
Once Isner gets a hold of that court, it
That's
is
right.
destroyed.
That's right.
That was number 2, Mike. Number 1, 12th hole, Augusta National.
that grass better than the grass everywhere else?
It's better than the grass everywhere else. Kind of equal with Creaney, but it's...
No, he's saying 13th hole, 14th hole,
Yeah.
11th hole.
No.
It's different grass?
The 12th hole is the best of the grass holes. Look it up, Bill. Look it up. Like people who do this for a living, take care of lawns, they will tell you the 12th hole at Augusta is the nicest lawn in America. Look it up.
How many of the holes are not grass holes?
You're a grass hole.
Paul Millsap.
Wait, is there a hole in a trap somewhere?
Millsap. What? I mean, guys, look at it. Feel free. I mean, the internet's for everyone, okay?
Where can I find a picture of John Crean's lawn?
Oh, it's the best. I think I might have one on my phone. You want it? It's amazing. I sold the house at someone else's lawn, and it's already ruined.
You hate when that happens.
I know.
All Creaney's hard work for nothing.
Paul Millsap is a Sixer. Marvin Bagley is a Piston. Sabonis is a King. I bailed on the first name.
What happened?
It's a tough first name for me. Is it DeMontis or Demantis?
Demantis would be an incredible nickname for him.
You're right. DeMontis Sabonis. King. Stash this away in the Something to Ponder file. Why are gigantic men being forced to squeeze in like sardines on NBA benches across America? They need room.
Yeah, but those front row seats
No.
are very expensive.
I found myself at the Sixer game, Heat game, because I watched a lot of Heat over the weekend, feeling bad for Joel Embiid. He is not comfortable. It is not comfortable. And why do we have to have these guys who are at minimum 6'2", all squeezing into a very tight spot on an NBA bench?
Do you know why though?
Well, I'm assuming it's sales, create more, courtside seats. But how about the players that we're coming to see? They're uncomfortable.
Now you care about the humanity of the players just when they're sitting on the bench resting.
It's just an observation.
I'm just saying,
They're crammed in there.
Yes, commerce. Yes, at every turn in sports, commerce is chosen first over the things that you would prefer that would be a little slightly more humane. Front row seats for those people go to the celebrities and the people who have a great deal of money.
Right. But Embiid,
I'm with you. He should have a recliner over there. Why wouldn't Joel Embiid have a giant Barca lounger over there?
Philadelphia has 76 coaches. Jesus. Have you seen their coaching staff? They all wear gray.
You had good seats, huh?
I actually assumed all the coaching staffs in the NBA were the same. Do I have that wrong? I assumed all the coaching staffs were the same size.
No one has more coaches than the Sixers, I'm telling you. The Heat don't. I was at the game.
I don't. So you're telling me the Sixers had more coaches at a road game than the Heat?
Sixers had more coaches on a bench than any team I've ever seen in NBA history.
But is it coaches or is it like PR guys and everybody else? Is it the whole contingent?
Coaches. A lot of them. Too many of them. LeBron, a 50 burger with a side of hand-chosen shitty teammates. Jason Tatum, a 50 burger with a side of Dan's wrong. Second 50 burger this season. Again, Dan's wrong. He's had 4 50 burgers in his Celtic career. He's 24. It's the most in Celtics history. Tied with Larry Bird, the Birdman.
So he's going to be better than Durant? He's going to be as good as Durant?
He's already as good as Durant. He's going to be better than Bird. How about that?
Okay. Well, Durant is better than Bird.
No, he's not.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Better than Bird. How many championships has Durant won? Don't answer it. 0. Bird. For your life, Dan. Bird, Kevin Durant. Shot for your life.
Durant.
You're wrong. You die. Coach K, embarrassing your players in front of a national audience and Jerry Seinfeld was a nice touch. I'm pretty sure your players felt bad enough not winning that game for you. Brian Griese, 49ers quarterback coach. Slick landing spot. You know what Brian Griese did, Dan? He quit before he got fired.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You thought he was going to be alongside of Aikman, perhaps?
I did.
I think the announcement of Aikman kind of meant he was fired.
He's got Brian Greasy choosing. You know what? I don't think I want to work with Aikman.
Double the quarterbacks.
Saw Herbie? It was reported today. Herbie to Amazon for Thursday Night Football while continuing his ESPN duties.
Awesome.
Nice.
Heard a lot of people say Coach K was the best basketball coach of all time. Really? He's not even the greatest college coach of all time. Anyone ever heard of John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood? Top 5 college basketball coaches all time.
Really?
Dan.
Wow, this is exciting.
Number 5.
I'm surprised this is after top 5 lawns.
Oh, that was a good list. Greeny. John Thompson. Changed the game. Number 4, Dean Smith. Number 3, Dan, Pat Summitt.
Nice.
Number 2, Gino Auriemma. And number 1, Dan, we all know.
Jessica just made a face.
That's controversial.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're going to piss off Tennessee fans with Gino above Pat. Just saying.
I put Pat in there. I mean,
It's a ranking, Stugotz, so one is higher than the other.
I have Gino slightly ahead of Pat.
I'm just saying, like, it's controversial.
Rings, though.
Controversial.
All right. John Wooden. Dan.
What was your 5th one?
John Thompson.
Oh, okay. I thought for a minute that you did 2 John Woodens.
Nah.
My bad. I heard you wrong.
John Thompson. I mean, won 1 championship with Ewing. Probably should have won 2 or 3, but doesn't matter. Changed the game. Dan, you know what North Carolina did on Saturday night?
No.
They played the role of spoiler. The Tar Heels. Congratulations to Longwood for winning the Big South and advancing to their first NCAA tournament. They never trailed in the final. You, of course, know what that means, right, Dan?
Lead wire to wire.
Boom!
Yes.
Wow.
Wire to wire.
The Lancers. Guard play. Willett Hall and them boys. Duke University in general is spoiled and entitled. I'm tired of them. All of them. Everyone at Cameron Indoor looked like Thomas Hill after Christian Laettner shot in the Elite Eight to beat Kentucky. And they're crying like little babies because they couldn't beat North Carolina. Get over it.
Is there anything in sports more unifying than watching Duke lose or embarrassed? Like, I don't really. Is there anything? Anything to be able? Does anything in sports? Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does anything in sports feel better than being able to laugh at Duke?
Was there ever a doubt? I mean, it would have been Coach K's final game at Cameron Indoor without Jerry Seinfeld. Arsenal. I mean, what the hell happened there? Jerry and Coach K are best friends all of a sudden?
I got to be honest. It was odd. I know he's a Mets fan. It was odd to see Jerry Seinfeld there. I don't think of him as famous college basketball fan.
Arsenal, with the help of Bukayo Saka.
Oh, God.
I don't know how many letters you added to that
There's like
name.
3 L's that are not there.
You certainly added
Saka?
at least 2 syllables.
Is it Saka?
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, they call it football.
It's dead, regardless. Bukayo, is that right?
Bukayo.
Bukayo, of course. Saka. I mean, his last name is the sport that he plays. It's amazing.
Not a lot of people can say that.
Johnny Football. Where was it?
Saka.
Oh, and Martin Odegaard, of course, are on the brink of grabbing another top 4 trophy. I get it right? Kenny Pickett. You know what they say about guys with small hands? The P in Pickett stands for perhaps a small penis.
Oh, no.
According to unfortunate male stereotypes that age poorly as time evolves.
Good, good. Well done, Stugotz. Yes.
Kick, save, and a butte.
Yes. Dick save and a butte.
Just to be clear, I had a lot going on when we were recording the musical. But if the big game turns out to be a commercial and critical success, when the album releases on Thursday, me, and more importantly, my agent Lou, will be asking some questions. If you have an agent, his name needs to be Lou. I'm just telling you. DJ Augustin is a Laker. Do you know that? Still playing.
I was not aware of that. No.
Serge Ibaka is a Buck. Jason with a Y is cooler than Jason with an S.
I agree with that.
They both have S's.
You said you agree. Don't laugh too hard. Damn you, Billy. Are you sure about that? Look it up.
Yeah, I'll check.
Death, taxes, and Sister Jean. Rick Pitino, Maryland, collision course. Maryland, 2 vacated national championships, collision course. The Terps. Can you believe that's happening?
He's going to make it all the way back.
Unbelievable. Will Rick Pitino be a good coach now that he doesn't have to cheat? Will he? I have no idea.
I mean, he's always been a good coach.
No, he's always been a good cheater.
Can you be both, or you're only allowed to be one of those?
I think some people can be both. The jury's still out on Pitino, though, I think.
Okay. The jury's still out.
Yeah, I love when a jury's still out. Maryland, where's Pitino's favorite color? Red. So much for Rick Pitino, never leaving Iona. Jordan Davis, 341 pounds, 4'8", 240. What the hell? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.